Trust is one of the most dangerous illusions ever created because the moment you trust blindly, you surrender power. And power, once surrendered, is rarely returned without pain. Most people learn this too late. They move through life believing loyalty is permanent, believing intentions are pure, believing people value honesty above advantage. But human nature has never worked this way. People are driven by self-interest first, emotion second, morality only when convenient. This is the truth few dare to accept, and because they refuse to accept it, they become vulnerable. History has always belonged to those who understood human nature clearly, not emotionally, not romantically, strategically. Machiavelli understood this better than most men ever will. He observed something brutal. People remain loyal only while it benefits them. The moment circumstances change, so do alliances. This is why wise men never become intoxicated by praise, never become dependent on approval, never place their future entirely in another person's hands, because dependency creates weakness, and weakness invites betrayal. Look carefully at the world. Friendships collapse over advantage. Relationships collapse over convenience. Promises disappear under pressure, not because humanity suddenly became corrupt, but because human nature has always been unstable. People love loyalty in words, but survival in action. And survival changes people quickly, especially when fear, ambition, jealousy, or opportunity enters the room. This does not mean you must become paranoid. It means you must become aware. There is a difference. The naive man trusts completely. The paranoid man trusts nobody irrationally. But the intelligent man? He observes. He studies patterns. He watches behavior. He listens carefully. And he understands one dangerous principle. What people say means little. What people repeatedly do reveals everything. Words are performances. Actions expose truth. A man may speak of loyalty endlessly until loyalty becomes inconvenient. A friend may celebrate your success until your success surpasses theirs. A partner may promise forever until emotions change. This is why emotional attachment without awareness becomes dangerous, because blind trust creates blind vulnerability. And vulnerable people are easily manipulated. Powerful men understand this. They remain respectful, calm, strategic, but never careless. They do not reveal everything. They do not depend entirely on others emotionally. They do not expose all weakness openly, because once people understand your vulnerabilities, some will eventually use them. Human beings are drawn toward advantage naturally. This is not hatred. This is reality. And reality rewards awareness, not innocence. The greatest mistake weak people make is believing honesty protects them automatically. It does not. The world is not ruled by fairness. It is ruled by perception, influence, leverage, power. Machiavelli understood that trust should never be given freely. It should be earned slowly through consistency. Because consistency is rare, anyone can pretend briefly. Few can remain genuine over time. Time exposes everyone eventually. Pressure reveals character. Success reveals ego. Power reveals intention. Watch carefully when people gain advantage. That is when masks begin falling. And this is why emotional discipline matters. People who crave validation trust too quickly. People who fear loneliness ignore warning signs. People desperate for connection often betray themselves before others ever do. Neediness destroys judgment. The more emotionally dependent you become, the easier you are to control, because whoever controls your emotions controls your decisions, and whoever controls your decisions controls your life. This is why self-mastery is power. A man who can stand alone calmly becomes difficult to manipulate. He does not beg for loyalty, does not chase approval, does not collapse when people disappoint him, because he expects human nature to fluctuate, and expectation removes shock. This does not mean becoming cold-hearted. It means becoming intelligent emotionally. Trust carefully, observe constantly, reveal slowly, and never confuse words with character. Some people will smile while envying you, support you while secretly competing with you, stand beside you while waiting for your weakness. Naive men ignore this. Wise men prepare for it. Because life is not a fairy tale, it is strategy. And strategy requires awareness. The harsh truth is simple. The person who destroys you rarely appears as an enemy in the beginning. They appear trustworthy. That is why discernment is priceless. Learn to read behavior, learn to recognize manipulation, learn to detect inconsistency, and above all, learn to remain emotionally controlled. Emotion clouds judgment, attachment blinds logic, but calm observation reveals truth quickly. Machiavelli understood something most people still refuse to accept. It is safer to rely on your discipline than the promises of others, because discipline remains when loyalty disappears. Strength remains when support disappears. Self-control remains when emotions collapse. And in the end, the man who masters himself fears betrayal far less than the man who depends entirely on others. Trust carefully, observe endlessly, and never forget, human nature changes the moment advantage appears.